In the late 2000s, the world was introduced to the might of Carthage with the release of the Assassin's Creed Origins. This game allowed players to explore an expansive version of the North African city, which was at the height of its power during the time of the First Punic War. But while the game depicted Carthage as a sprawling metropolis, outside of its massive walls, there was another side to the city that few people knew about and even fewer people have talked about. So today, we're going to talk about what it was and why it may have been the key to the Carthaginian success during the Second Punic War. If you're new here, hi, welcome to my channel, where we explore the lesser-known aspects of history. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. And let's get into it. The year is 218 BC. Hannibal Barca and his war elephants are approaching the Italian peninsula, having just crossed the Alps. Rome is preparing for war, but there is little they can do. All the experienced soldiers are away, fighting in the Second Punic War. Hannibal has just won a massive victory at the Trebia and the Romans are in full retreat. They look back longingly at their farms and families and wonder if they will ever see them again. But then something catches their eye. In the distance, they see another group of Roman soldiers coming towards them, looking just as tired and beaten as the others. Could this be the reinforcements that they have been waiting for? As the Romans got closer, they began to realize that something was very wrong. These were not reinforcements, but rather prisoners of war, being marched back to Carthage by the very enemy they were supposed to be fighting. It became clear to them that the Carthaginians had a secret weapon, one that would allow them to field limitless amounts of troops without ever having to leave the comfort of their own homes. This secret weapon was none other than slaves. You see, while Rome was able to raise a large army thanks to its large population, most of these soldiers were volunteers who were only too happy to put down their farming tools for the chance to plunder and pillage. As such, when they were defeated, they simply picked up their tools and went back to farming. But Rome's army wasn't the only one with a manpower problem. Carthage had the same issue, which is why they turned to the next best thing, slaves, thanks to the massive wealth generated by its trading empire. Carthage was able to purchase slaves from all over the Mediterranean. In fact, historians estimate that at the height of the Second Punic War, Carthage had around 35,000 slaves working within its borders. Of those, around 3,000 were used as laborers and the rest were used as soldiers. And unlike Rome, when these soldiers were defeated, they didn't go back to being farmers. They either died or, if they were lucky, they were taken prisoner and sold into slavery. This meant that Carthage had a constant supply of fresh troops who were eager to fight, unlike Rome, whose army was made up of veterans who had seen better days. Rome would eventually win the war, but that doesn't mean that Carthage's secret weapon wasn't effective. In fact, it was so effective that it allowed Carthage to remain a major power in the Mediterranean for centuries. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. Also, be sure to check out my podcast where I discuss a variety of historical topics. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you next time.